Bring in Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, interesting commentary there.
Yeah, very interesting.
Wow, what do you make?
Well, it's funny how the world looks so differently from the outside of the White House looking in as opposed to being inside the White House and looking out. He's not there yet, but he's starting to sound more presidential when he basically said, I'd like to solve people's problems rather than, quote, hurt the Clintons. Now, that's not something we would have heard from him during the campaign, whether he would have said it differently during the campaign in order to gin up votes or because he thinks differently now that he's confronted with all this power. I don't know what his schedule is, but I don't believe he's had his FBI briefing yet, so he probably does not know the gravity of the two cases, two live investigations against her. One for public corruption. Did she tailor her decisions as Secretary of State in accordance with whether the people who benefited from the decisions gave money to the Clinton Foundation? And the other, in which her husband is a target also, was the Clinton Foundation a true charity? Was it a slush fund? Was it a criminal enterprise? I don't know that the president-elect has the details on that yet. Can he order Comey to open, can he order the head of the FBI, whoever it might be, to reopen now for the third time, or to open for the third time, the email investigation? Yes, he can.
Yeah, but he's really, I mean, the Clinton Foundation investigation never stopped.
Correct.
That's still ongoing.
Correct. That is
that seems to be the more onerous one. I mean, that's the more damning one.
An enormous investigation. By enormous, I mean tremendous volume of paperwork and digital data being scrutinized by a large number of FBI agents who expect an outcome different from the email investigation.
But they also want to get the power that they have at their disposal, and they've been stifled from that consistently from the top down, whether it was Comey's office, right? So they want to get the tools. They want to get subpoenas. They want to be able to depose people, which they haven't been able to do.
We don't know if a grand jury is hearing any evidence on either the Clinton Foundation or the allegations of public corruption. That was the singular defect in the email investigation, the absence of a grand jury. Yep. You know, the FBI can't issue a subpoena. It goes to a grand jury with DOJ lawyers and asks the grand jury for a subpoena. So without a grand jury, the FBI and the DOJ are essentially toothless. We don't know.
Or a special counsel.
Well, special counsel is different. Special counsel means that the DOJ itself has a conflict, and it needs an outside entity to investigate a particular person. I don't know that we've reached that level here, but
how could you say it's not a conflict when the head of the Doj is Loretta Lynch, who had a private meeting with
she'll be gone in 2 months.
On the
I'm talking about in the Clinton administration, for God have mercy on me, in the Trump administration.
We're one and the same. Don't worry about it.
Not.
Whoever the Attorney General is, it's certainly not going to be Loretta Lynch. Now, if there is some internal conflict of which we're unaware, then that Attorney General can appoint a special counsel. Special counsel gets his or her own team of FBI agents, his or her own office, his or her own budget, totally independent of the DOJ, but with the same force and the power.
That's what they should have had, by the way, from the beginning.
Probably. Well, from what we now know, yes, probably, because of the conflict between the FBI and the DOJ.
Judge, how careful do you think Donald Trump is being in terms of just the language that he's using right now? Because he does need to be careful that it doesn't seem like he's going to use the office that he just won as a weapon.
You know, I thought, and I didn't see the whole interview. I saw the parts that we've been playing this morning. I thought he was terrifically careful. Question on Jim Comey, for example. Now, there was a time when it sounded like he wanted to wring Comey's neck during the campaign. He basically said, you know, look, he's well invested in that job in a 10-year term. I haven't met him. I got to talk to him. I need to know a little bit more before I make a decision. And he said it in a very soft, credible, thoughtful way. Now, he was in front of, you know, whatever the 60-minute audience is, as opposed to a pep rally that he had been running for the past year and a half. But I thought he was presidential, remarkable, calm, cool, and credible.
Judge, what should he do here? I mean, you've laid out...
With respect to whom now?
Well, okay, we know there's a mountain of evidence that suggests paid for play. when you look at WikiLeaks. There's
Right.
a mountain of evidence that suggests that she put her own political expedience and career over national security with the email server. There's a mountain of evidence that I think he should pursue this. But at the same time, if I put my strategist hat on, that's a total distraction to him pushing through his plan to fix problems for everyday Americans.
Well, the president may take care of that for him, President Obama, if he pardons Mrs. Clinton.
Yeah.
Now, if he pardons her, he probably should pardon President Clinton and the others around them. Then they should consider, well, shouldn't David Petraeus be pardoned? Shouldn't Admiral Cartwright be pardoned? I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on.
Exactly.
And that's probably something Donald Trump would prefer not to address for the reasons you've articulated. He wants to solve the nation's problems. He doesn't want to open up old wounds.
A lot of people were talking about this weekend. I spoke with Jason Chaffetz, the head of the Oversight Committee. Congressman Chaffetz also addressed whether or not this is still going to be on the docket, the investigation into Hillary Clinton. Listen.
It's this huge, massive mess that has to be cleaned up. So we would be remiss if we just dismissed it and moved on. We have a lot of things that we have to fix so it never, ever happens again.
That was
He has less power now than,
Chaffetz.
or will have less power in January than he does now. Is he going to conduct an investigation that the president doesn't want to?